2007, and right now we are joined by the headliners, a couple of dudes from a band called Linkin Park, Chester and Phoenix, for the first time ever on the Rock Show. We're going to talk to them, play a whole bunch of videos, maybe talk about a tour or something cool happened this summer, and it's pretty much going to rule. See you shortly. Hey everybody, you're watching The Rock Show, the Untitled here, joined for the first time ever by Linkin Park. Welcome.
Yeah,
It's
what's up, man?
it's a pleasure to have you here at the Bamboozle. We've covered pretty much every Bamboozle, but this is the first time ever that we've had you guys here.
Yeah, it's our first time, and
First time. Excited.
and it's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good tour. It's a good festival, I should say.
Yes.
Two days of rip-roaring, rocking fun. Now you guys are doing a tour coming out this summer.
Yeah, we're going out with My Chemical Romance.
Okay.
Taking Back Sunday.
Mhm.
Him.
Nice.
Placebo.
Yep.
We've got Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Really?
We've got Seosin.
I had no idea these bands were coming on as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple others. There's
Right.
like 3 or 4 others.
Chester's looking at me, but really Chester is kind of the memory wizard. I'm just
Okay.
like, whenever I get asked that question, I'm kind of like, yeah, we're
Um,
playing.
And you guys are playing now.
Let me
Yeah.
get that sheet of paper.
Was this a big wish list for Linkin Park?
Well, what's interesting about this Project Revolution is that it actually came together relatively easier than the other Project Revolutions.
Right.
Before we were like, we had like a wish list when we go through, and like a lot of bands would be really, cool about it, or they already had the plans. Some bands would just flat out say like, we hate you guys, don't call us anymore. And then like,
And who are they, so we can? Destroy them.
they know who they are. It's all good.
Alright.
And then like we got lucky with a lot of the other bands that that we ended up touring with. This time around, we really had to like weed out some bands because I'd say like 80% of them were just like really gung ho about being part of the tour.
That's really cool.
So it was awesome,
That's really great.
Yeah.
We're actually going to play a video from one of the bands right now who are also playing, I believe, as we sit at the Bamboozle. This is Taking Back Sunday. All right, that was Taking Back Sunday, playing here at the Bamboozle. Also on the Project Revolution tour with these gentlemen, Linkin Park. It seems to be that you guys have picked a little more eclectic lineup for Project Revolution this year. Would you agree?
Yeah,
Kinda.
The goal with Project Revolution from the very beginning was to find bands in all different kinds of genres that we felt were doing things for, although it may sound somewhat cheesy, that we felt were doing things that were revolutionary,
Yeah.
hence Project Revolution. So from the get-go, it's been like, I mean, we've had everybody from Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
out, Korn's played with us.
Cypress
See,
Hill,
now's the
Mudvayne.
part where you key back to the memory thing. Like that's where my memory just turned off, and then I'm like looking at Chester like, bail me out.
Mudvayne, Cypress Hill,
bail me out.
Blindside,
Oh, wow.
Hoobastank. I think the one thing that's a little different than the other Project Revolutions is the lack of a lot of a hip hop presence.
Right.
And just the way the cookie crumbles this time around. We do have Styles of Beyond, which is everybody knows, unless they're like hopefully like really hardcore Styles of Beyond fans and know them of their previous work, and as well as their work with Mike and Fort Minor. They'll be dropping a record this year, and
Very cool.
there's a band called Julian K that'll be out opening the main stage. Ryan Shuck and Amir Drak of Orgy
Oh, nice.
are members of that band. It's
Oh,
a great
that's great.
band, so come check it out.
Very
Get to
cool.
early.
We're going to talk a lot more about Linkin Park next when we come back after these several annoying commercials. Hey, welcome back to the Untitled at the Bamboozle, joined by Linkin Park. And let's talk about this new record, Minutes to Midnight. really, really groovy title. Where does it come from?
Well, it actually comes from a special I was watching on the History Channel, of all places. It happened to be about the Doomsday Clock, and you know, they kept saying like 5 minutes to midnight in whatever year, you know, and it moves back and forth. And I just thought the idea of midnight being like the ultimate, like the end of all time, or it could be like the end of, like with the band, like the end of one era and the beginning of something new.
Okay.
It just felt like it really fit, and you can apply it to like all sorts of different scenarios outside of just the band. And so, you know, we were having a really hard time naming the record.
Yes.
We were actually like this close to just calling it Linkin Park because we had basically nothing to work with.
Actually, we had some titles that, of all people, I disliked the most, I think. And so when Chester brought in the name Minutes to Midnight, for me, it was kind of like a personal epiphany.
Okay.
Because it was finally a record title that I knew would fly with everybody and that I liked. So,
Do you remember any that you hated?
yeah.
Banana Boat.
Well, yeah.
That was actually, that was the top of the list.
There was a few that we kicked around, but like it was just, if two guys liked it, everybody else hated it.
Right.
You know, or there was like literally nothing that we could all agree on. So
which is really weird for us.
Yeah.
yeah, being in the bureaucracy that we all live in with each other, but
It's hard with a band with everybody deciding. And we're going to play right now the first video off Minutes to Midnight. This is Linkin Park with What I've Done. All right, that was Linkin Park. And look, here they are. Let's talk about the video. That was Linkin Park. And look, here they are. Let's talk about the video. It's an incredible, incredible video. How did you come up with the idea?
Well, Joe, hearing the song, for him, the song really meant kind of asking for forgiveness for your past and everything that's led you up to where you are. Kind of that importance of seeing that moment and taking the power of that decision of where you're going to go. Are you going to choose something positive or negative? And he pushed that into like a larger scope, you know, using the environment, using different political figures in the video, et cetera, to kind of convey like that feeling of what he got from the song.
It's very hard hitting, and most of your videos seem to come from within the band, more so than treatments and things outside.
yeah, well, Joe actually has to submit his treatments just like everybody else.
No way.
Yeah, it's this is probably the first time that he actually just said, I'd like to do it, and here's my idea, and we were just like, okay, great. We didn't take any other ones, but he's, you know, we've always gotten treatments from other directors, and he's submitted his treatment, and you know, we read them back to back, and he's won a few times.
Okay.
You know, but it's actually really cool to work with Joe because he knows us really well. We don't really have to. He doesn't really have to direct us very much.
Right.
So it kind of works out really well, and we just end up having a lot of fun.
Good. Fun is a good thing. Unlike the following advertisements. We'll be back with more Linkin Park. Hit up fuse.tv/Steven and click the link to our MySpace page to check out TV/Steven and click the link to our MySpace page to check out stories, news, and calendar updates from your rock show team. All right, welcome back to the Untitled here with Linkin Park. We're talking about their record, Minutes to Midnight. I think it's safe to say that the sound of Linkin Park has evolved on this record.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
We definitely like put a lot of time and a lot of energy into writing songs that like we feel that, you know, represent the band, and kind of like show more diversity in style than the other two records, but sound nothing like Hybrid Theory or Meteora.
Is it true you wrote over 100 songs and it was like what, over a year?
Yeah, our writing process is a little bit different, I think, than what is normal, and we do function a little bit more like a kind of like a studio project, almost like in a sense, like Rick compared it to like a hip hop production. We don't ever sit in a room and kind of jam to write songs until it comes time to do like touring, where we actually have to learn how to play them. Early on, we're all kind of passing around hard drives, we're writing individually and in pairs, and just getting ideas out. So with that, I mean, 7 hard drives in the band, one being the community hard drive. On those 7 hard drives for this album, there's, I mean, upwards of 150 songs.
It's so amazing to hear the technology of how songwriting has progressed. That now it's like, and we're passing around hard drives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny for
phenomenal.
us too, and I think it's a product of just like, in a sense, almost that ADD upbringing. But
Right,
we
yeah.
we've never, from the very beginning, we've never been able to sit in a room together and do anything productive. We just get frustrated, and
We
by
end
the
up
time
screwing around pretty much most of the
Right.
time.
an
anyways.
hour goes by and we've learned one part, we don't like it, and now we're who knows
Done.
what, but we're not.
We're gonna go get pizza.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
pretty much how it works. Yeah.
Fair
so
enough.
we learned really early on that that doesn't work for us, and so we figured out ways to write other than that. And for us it's natural, but you bring in somebody else into that process who isn't familiar with what we do, like Rick for this album, and he's kind of looking at it going like, this is exciting for him because he's never worked in this way, but at the same time he's like, it's really crazy how you guys write.
We're going to talk more about the producer Rick Rubin when we, after this video. Come back a lot more with Linkin Park and some guy named Rick Rubin who worked on their record. All right, welcome back to the Untitled. Hope those commercials were fun. We're here with Linkin Park, who have just recorded a record with the great Rick Rubin. That must have been a dream come true.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, at first I think it was a little intimidating, meeting Rick.
Because of the beard.
There's the beard factor.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on in there,
Mhm.
but I think it's just like the plethora of kind of like all of the bands he's worked with, the amount of music he's known for being a part of.
Yeah.
The fact that he basically is one of the founding fathers of hip hop. He's worked on some of the heaviest metal records ever, and he just threw down with Johnny Cash and the Dixie Chicks and Neil Diamond like it was
Nothing.
like second nature to him. So you walk in and you kind of wonder what might happen, and he's a very calm, very pleasant, friendly person to be around. And over the course of the 15 months that we were working with them, it just kind of next thing you know, he just becomes Rick, and you're
Just
just
the
you
dude.
just happen to you're going to the studio. It's just like
It's like you worked
it-
with Slayer.
it's really interesting, but he's a really great guy to work with. He worked especially, I think for us, we worked really well together, and he found a way to, help guide us and keep us on the track of our original goal, which was to make a record that could stand up to Hybrid Theory and Meteora, but didn't necessarily. It wasn't the trilogy.
Right.
It was something new, and it pushed us as songwriters, and I think that he was definitely the right choice for us.
That must have been a very special experience. We're going to play another band that's going to be on Project Revolution. These are some guys called My Chemical Romance. Perhaps you know them. That was My Chem, who are going out on tour with Linkin Park with Project Revolution. You excited to go out with those guys? With Linkin Park with Project Revolution. You excited to go out with those guys?
Yeah, they're really good guys.
So great.
Really very cool guys. It's been a pleasure. Like I think this tour is gonna actually be a lot of fun
Mhm.
because I've heard whether we've met the bands before or not. I think all of them have a relationship in one way or another. And I've heard nothing but really great things about every single band on the tour. And so I'm really excited about getting out there and hanging out with them.
Yeah, I think I've interviewed every band on the tour, and it's very egoless, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, these are not, but it's a necessary evil. Commercials. We'll be right back. Videos, guest episodes, and get links to our video blog and MySpace page. All right, you guys are watching The Untitled. We are at the Bamboozle. We have been here the whole 2 days. We're talking to Linkin Park, and I have to ask, is this the first time you've ever shared a festival with such names like MC Hammer and Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah, we actually, I was talking to somebody in the band right over here, and I was like, who's playing, today that, maybe we can go see, like, who's playing right around us, who's playing before us. And it was Retardo Bot and
Yes.
Weird Al were the answers that I got as far as what I might be able to see today. I said, this is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
This-
What's interesting about Retardo Bot is that we actually go back a little while with those guys. We met them on our first tour, and I guess the front man of the band, came to us and he was just like, he gave us all Retardobot t-shirts and gave us a disc, and he's like, "We love you guys!" And we keep running into them, and to see them on this festival is pretty outstanding. I'm really happy for Retardobot.
Really happy for Retardobot.
Yeah.
And of course, now we must go to a video. Here's Boys Like Girls.
Fuse.
May 5th, 2007 is a one-time and one-time only event, so we are going to enjoy it!
All right, welcome back to the Untitled. We are here with Linkin Park. Now, I think it's safe to say that with Project Revolution and playing the Bamboozle, that there's kind of a mixture of different audiences for Linkin Park and, say, like Taking Back Sunday crowd. You know, I think it's kind of there's going to be a lot of cross-pollinating.
I think for us, we've seen it from the very, very beginning. At our shows, there's a very diverse crowd, and then whenever you kind of play the bigger venues or anything like that, it gets amplified. But at the same time, I think that one thing that's kind of great about going outside the U.S. that I wish would be more incorporated in the U.S. is when we go and play like these festivals in Germany, and that kind of thing. They'll have the most diverse bill you could ever imagine. I mean, it's all over the place, and I guess that's the way you get 120,000 people at a show. But
Yeah. We're going to go to a video. When we come back, more with these guys. Alrighty, we are here with Linkin Park at the Bamboozle, and we're pretty much closing out the show right now. The Bamboozle is your last show stateside for a while, and you're heading over to Europe for a bit?
yeah, we got about a month.
Okay. Festivals.
Yeah, festivals and some headline stuff, and then back in July, Project Revolution starts.
Very cool. We're looking forward to Project Revolution. Hopefully we will see you guys out there on the tour. Maybe we'll sneak by, I'm thinking. Probably. Be nice, you know. We got time. We got a lot to do. There's a lot going on this summer, but
Yeah, if you could squeeze it in.
we're working.
You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
Can someone pencil that, please? But don't use the one with the eraser. Chester, Phoenix, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It's a pleasure having you guys being on the Rock Show for the first time.
We are now no longer virgins
That's right.
of the Steve
Yes,
Show.
yes. You guys can waddle away bloody. You know what I'm saying? We're going to end the show with Muse right now. It's a video called Starlight. It's how I like to roll. Keeping you gross, feeling icky. Linkin Park, Bamboozle. See you guys soon.